But the more you give, the more you get back. But you have to be whole in the first place. You just have to understand that you are responsible. We take time and we schedule out these events. We look at our calendar and we schedule everything that we need to get done. But in that 24/7 day week, we've got to schedule time for us. You got to schedule enough time for you to get your sleep. You've got to schedule time to get the movement, the exercise that you need. I am terrible at exercising, and after 3 months of not moving last year, it's even worse. But it is what I need to be able to function and be able to take care of my grandson. I can't walk him to the park if I am not healthy and being able to walk myself. And that's an example. That's where I'm at. I spent 3 months not being able to move because I was told to be still and be very careful and be very calm. I could not move my chest because of the break in the surgery that happened. So after that, now I have core muscles that are no longer strong, and I am unable to walk much further than a mile until I can take the time myself to build that back up. So for example, I can't, being able to take care of my grandson and have fun and play with him for very long distance is different now than it was 18 months ago. I have to calm and relax and remember that this is what I need to do for me so that I can take care of them and be with them. And I think for me as a mom and grandma, I want to be here long term. I don't want to just make sure my kids are okay. I want to be available physically as well as mentally and financially to do things with my grandkids for the long term and in the next generation potentially. That starts with me.
Okay, everyone, welcome to Living the Next Chapter. I have another author with me, shockingly, on the podcast. This is great. Noelle Peterson is here with me today, and Noelle's going to be talking about her books, or the things she's working on. She's got a great course for women, which my wife Jennifer is interested in. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And we're looking all about wellness and the fact that we all have a story to share. Noelle is here with me. Noelle, welcome to the podcast. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Dave. This is going to be awesome.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be really, really good. Now, if anybody's ever watched my previous episodes of Living the Next Chapter, this whole background thing looks very familiar. We've had someone else on that knows you. And Robert was on, and it's great to have you on now. The dynamic duo, both of you on the podcast. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. We do enjoy sharing the stage and sharing life.
Because behind you is the website, addvaluetolife.com. It's right there.
Yep.
And we can, right off the bat, we can mention that people can find you there, /women, right? Is that the right way to navigate?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also in the menu on the website.
Menu there as well. Good. So, okay, Noelle, take us through, share with us a little bit. First of all, I like to always ask where you're joining us from. That's always great for people listening.
I'm in Denver, Colorado, getting ready for snow.
Awesome. I just had somebody on like 2 days ago from Denver. It sounds like the place to be. So I'm so happy to have you here with us. Tell us a little bit about your author journey. This is exciting to hear as well.
It is. It is so much fun sharing your story. Mine starts last January. I was working through recovery of a life-saving surgery and figuring out what I wanted to do and who I was supposed to be on this world. And the worksheets I had been using and Robert had found for me were just incomplete in ways that meant to me and to my personality. And so one weekend he actually just looked at me and said, then write your own. So I sat down while working my 9 to 5. I took a couple weekends and took the books that we had used over our entrepreneurial journey and life and things that meant value to me and put together a workbook of 20 activities to help somebody figure out where they're at and where they want to go and work through that process of what's next. Where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to work on? And that I just created the documents and I never thought anything of it. Well, then we met a publisher and he's like, let me put that into print. I'm like, okay, if somebody wants to buy it, I didn't know what it was for. And at the time it was really just for me. And that was last January and worked through it. And, he's got lots of stuff on his plate and it wasn't urgent for me. And, by the end of April, I had books in hand. So that is the Dream Life Planner. It
Nice.
is on Kindle and Amazon, but it is a book that you want to write in. So I recommend getting a print copy.
Nice.
And then you can just, or, doing a PDF and you can write on it and redo it over and over, because it is valuable things to think about over the years as you process and work through and grow.
Beautiful. So this is meant to be a journal then, like a planner? That's the whole idea behind it?
It's called a planner, but it's not something to plan out your week. It's not something that you're going to reuse, over the year.
Okay.
It's the activities of where you want to go. And it does have some tools to help you process and think of your daily plan and your daily actions, and habits that you want to build.
So the ultimate goal then, by going through the planner, what are you hoping people are going to see as success?
Growth in their life and knowing what they want. I mean, we are all here for a purpose. We all have specific backgrounds and stories and experiences that brought us to who we are. And we're not here just to be a mom and dad, soccer coach, school teacher. We're here for a purpose. We have meaning. We have a reason to be in the life that we are. And we need to make an impact and a legacy. And as we process and go through that, our lives change and we can change other people's lives. And if you go through it in 23 and you work and you learn and you grow, you might want to go through it again in 24 or 25. Mm-hmm. And it's something that you can continue to look at your life and figure out what's next.
Nice. So take us back a little bit then, because we chatted, but your backstory, you had some pretty significant health things happen, which really kind of was like a big reset button for you, I would think. Can you kind of talk a little bit about what happened?
Yeah. So I was a missionary wife, pastor wife, and at this point had gone into government work. And so I was working a full-time job, and working weekends to help support the business and help my husband grow a coaching business. And in 2018, I was fairly healthy. I didn't have any reason to go to the doctor. I was not on any medication. I was not diagnosed with anything. As far as all of us knew, there was nothing wrong. And then one Monday morning, I ended up in the ER, headed to open heart surgery. And 6 hours after that in ICU with every tube possible. So many IVs that they had to put more in once I went under. They diagnosed me with an aortic dissection, which when we finally got around to Googling it, has a 40% mortality rate.
Wow, that's high.
It is very high. And it's Lucille Ball, John Ritter, and those, if you remember their stories, that's what they died from. It's a expansion in the aorta that can turn into an aneurysm that bursts. And thankfully mine was caught. I had the right doctors, the right hospital, everything was absolutely just miraculous in some ways. And my entire aorta has basically been touched and repaired, through 2 different procedures. And 6 months later, almost back to normal. And that was 18 months ago. And
just an everyday Monday that we all just kind of don't even put any thought to something like this happening. You just do your normal routine and then this happens. That's got to be scary to hear that and get all that commotion and all those experts gathered around you in the hospital and you're just, what's happening, right?
Well, I will say by the time that the ER turned into what you see on TV, it very much was all the doctors and nurses running around saying all those panic things. I had already been given Dilaudid because I was unable to sit still, and they needed me to sit still for the CAT scan. So I was already drugged up to some extent, but I was also the kind of person that I've been through surgery. Just do what you need to do. I didn't know what was wrong. I just knew I needed the doctors to fix it. Yeah. Robert, on the other hand, was falling apart. Yeah. Believably so. I mean, there's no reason to think it would be anything else. That some doctors came in and were very calm, collected. It was all good. But then the anesthesiologist came in and said, well, I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this. And my husband's notes kind of just trail off like those, I want to say Lord of the Rings notes that they find in the in the caves.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very difficult, but it was, once I recovered and we knew all was good, very much a reset and the realization reminder, you need to take every day and take advantage of every day. You are here for a reason. There's a reason I'm still on this earth, and we need to keep moving. We need to work towards that.
So what was your big discovery then about your reason and your purpose? As you get home and try to get back into some sort of normality, where did you find yourself resetting to?
It took me a while. I went back to work after 2 months. I wasn't fully, what I would say, back to normal for about 6 months. And then it still took a bit. I started blogging and trying to write, and I put this planner together. And I came into March and told Robert, I need to quit. I can't write. I can't be me. I can't grow. I can't help you build the business while working 9 to 5. And I have realized probably more towards the end of the year, end of 22, that I'm here and I want to be a woman of influence. I want to help other women grow, have healthy relationships, be all they were meant to be, and find their purpose and value. So it took, well over a year for me to get to a place where I am here to help women. And I need to get on stage. I need to talk to women. I need to be out in the community and start making a difference and helping them realize that they have a story and they have a purpose as well.
That's perfect. And that's kind of where you're heading with coaching and helping women. Can we talk a little bit about your plans and what's kind of birthed out of all of this?
Yeah. So I worked with an organization in the late fall, and I've created an education course for midlife moms, empty nest moms, because we tend to take on these roles of mom, teacher, assistant, wife, all of the things that we do. And we say that's who we are, but we don't focus on who we really are and what are we here for and what is our core, what is our passion, what do we want to do. We take care of the spouse, we take care of the kids, we take care of work, and we're always taking care of other people. But if you think, reminder, the flight attendant, you got to put that oxygen mask on first in order to help others better. Mm-hmm. And I wrote a blog yesterday. I was talking about if we were to take the time to take care of other people's problems, by the time we got around to us, we're not whole. We're not full. We don't have the strength. We don't have the energy. We don't have the oxygen. Yeah. And so we've got to take care of ourselves first. And that is, self-care is very important. And it is it's a buzzword now, but you have to take care of you in order to take care of everybody else.
Yeah. Do you think that some people might struggle with self-care being seen as being selfish?
It is very much what we've been told.
Yeah.
It is our duty. It's as wives and mothers to take care of the family. We have to take care of the family. Family comes first. But we can't take care of the family if we don't take care of us. And actually, we're part of the family.
Yes.
We can't forget that.
Right.
And I say nobody's going to take care of us if it's not us. There are people that take care of the moms as well. But the mom has to take care of herself. The dad and kids are going to take care of themselves, whether we ask them to or not. Moms tend to delay that for later, and often that can get hurt. And that's very possible. What happened to me is it was a built up stress or, 20 plus years of taking care of everybody else. Mm-hmm. There's no way for me to know that what happened for my situation. There's no diagnosis. There was no genetic cause. So it's just speculation on our part of what happened. But moms have to take care of themselves. And it is not selfish, because if you take care of you and you fill your buckets, you fill your life with joy and sharing and love, and you get what you need, then you have even more to give and take care of others. And it's a hard concept sometimes to understand and relate, but it's it's so true. And if your bucket's full, I mean, we talk about it when we deal with couples and love languages. If you're filling your bucket and getting love in the way you need to, by yourself, by others, however, it works, then you are able and have the love to give to others. It works with every emotion. You have to take care of you so that you can give of others. It's just vital.
Yeah. And it seems like we're the last ones to take care of ourselves. We, as parents, we give financially, we give time, we give love and attention, and it doesn't always come back to us the way we give out. And like you're saying, you can't just give from an empty vessel or an empty pot, or there's only so much in there that you have. And what I find is there's some parents that will give their best to their family and they'll settle for the leftovers, for whatever's available, right? And I just see that if we can invest in ourselves the way we invest in others, how that's going to pay back to us and extend our ability to give even more, because we're coming from a place of being whole, right?
Right. And it's the overflowing cup. If you're overflowing, you're not losing out on anything. You're gaining from being able to help others. It's a reciprocal circle that we don't necessarily understand. It's not an earthly concept. It doesn't scientifically necessarily make sense. But the more you give, the more you get back. But you have to be whole in the first place. And you just have to understand that you are responsible. We take time and we schedule out these events. We look at our calendar and we schedule everything that we need to get done. But in that 24/7 day week, we've got to schedule time for us. You got to schedule enough time for you to get your sleep. You've got to schedule time to get the movement, the exercise that you need. I am terrible at exercising. And after 3 months of not moving last year, it's even worse.
Yeah.
But it is what I need to be able to function and be able to take care of my grandson. I can't walk him to the park if I'm not healthy and being able to walk myself. And that's an example. That's where I'm at. I spent 3 months not being able to move because I was told to be still and be very careful and be very calm. I could not move my chest because of the break in the surgery that happened. So after that, now I have core muscles that are no longer strong, and I am unable to walk much further than a mile until I can take the time myself to build that back up.
Yeah.
So for example, I can't, being able to take care of my grandson and have fun and play with him for very long distance is different now than it was 18 months ago.
Yeah.
I have to calm and relax and remember that this is what I need to do for me so that I can take care of them and be with them. And I think for me as a mom and grandma, I want to be here long term. I don't want to just make sure my kids are okay. I want to be available physically as well as mentally and financially to do things with my grandkids for the long term and in the next generation potentially.
Yeah.
That starts with me.
That's right. And that's a great perspective that I think we all need to have as parents. I love it. Can we talk a little bit more about what this course is going to look like and what it's going to feel like for participants as they sign up and do life with you?
Yeah. So this course is meant to be 6 hours. So we're looking at 3 weeks of 2 hours a week, in a group setting, talking through what are your values? What are you here for besides being a mom? And what do you want to focus on? What limiting beliefs do you have? What is the programming that happened back in the day? And what needs reprogrammed? What malware needs to be taken out of your life? That's my favorite word.
Mm-hmm.
And what relationships are you spending time in? Sometimes there are relationships that you need to let go of, spend less time with. And you got to focus on who do you want to spend time with and grow from. Being intentional. Jim Rohn said about the 5 relationships that we spend the most time with. That's who we are.
Yeah.
Being intentional on who you're spending your time with. And I've got friends and ladies that I work with that their relationships aren't the greatest, but they're family. They can't let them go.
Mm-hmm.
But you can intentionally spend less time in that situation and be conscious and aware of what that does to you so that you can be intentional on spending time with those who are lifting you up, encouraging you, and helping you move to the next level.
So there's going to be a combination of group time. Is there time with you as well?
There was not intentionally. There is an option to add one-on-one on top.
Okay.
But one-on-one is, always a value, and the value in words are escaping me, but time to spend on exactly what is going on with you. What's you working on? One-on-one coaching works for everybody. We all need it. But there's so much value in group setting and hearing from other stories and working together and the accountability that comes with it as well.
And how big are the groups that get together?
No more than 10.
Okay.
Keep it small.
Some intimacy there then too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You got to trust who you're in the room with. I mean, these are emotions and women don't necessarily like talking about themselves.
Yeah.
So give them that opportunity to open up and find somebody they can be willing to open up with and trust that they can share their story.
Is there anything special when you do something like this where you get everyone together for the very first time and people don't know each other? And like, how do you build community in that setting with a bunch of strangers who are going to go on a journey together? What's that first session look like?
Yeah. There's also a community aspect where kind of like a Facebook group where you can share and introduce each other and get to know each other that way.
Good.
But then a few moments of just opening up a little bit, I'll share my story and give them the foundation of being able to trust and that this is a safe place and but be authentic. And the only way we're going to be able to grow together is to work through this and be open, honest, transparent, and allowing each other to share their stories, and that what stays in Vegas, happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What goes on here it's just between us to lay that foundation for intimacy and time together.
Great. So where are you at with the course? Have you started or when does it start?
So it is available on the website, and we'll start the first Tuesday in March.
Oh, wow. So it's just happening right away. That's great.
Yeah.
That's good. How have you been so far with getting participants, and who are you looking for?
I am definitely looking for women in midlife. Moms is perfect. But I also understand that sometimes moms go through these feelings when the kids go off to kindergarten and preschool. So as if they've had them for the 4 years and now all of a sudden, they're not that in that situation. But midlife moms is my heart, because that's where I'm at. I've got 2 kids that have gone off into their own worlds and are starting to have their own families. And it's a transition to go from taking care of everybody to now what do I do?
Yeah.
Who am I? So those midlife moms are definitely my heart and soul to want to help them through this. I am looking for ladies to start this course, and we will walk through it together. And it is not anything that's solid in stone. Everything grows with it, right? So it's a growing journey for me and for everybody in the room.
It's amazing. Awesome. So we'll have links, obviously, to all of this in the show notes. What are you hoping for at the end of the session? We've gone through the process together. We've had our last meeting. How do you feel, or how are you going to measure the success of the group as a whole? Do you have some kind of metric in mind, or how you're going to identify how this turned out?
I think it's an emotional feeling and just an openness of the women to share what they've learned and grown. Because to be able to move and grow forward, it depends totally on how much work each person does, each individual. I mean, we can sit through courses. We all sat through college, right? And how much did each of those classes really affect us? But if you interact with the material and the community to walk through, where are you and where should you be and where does it that you want to go? It's up to you how far you can reach. And I think, looking at metrics, it's how is that limiting beliefs? How is that malware treating you? Have you done your affirmations every day? And those take time, because changing out the programming that we have in our brains isn't something that changes overnight. Right. And that's a process.
Yeah.
So this is a kickstart to personal growth, because it's changing your relationship habits, being intentional who you are around with, and working on your affirmations, and then building your dream life afterwards is going to take work from each person, and figure out where they want to go and how far is it that they want to go. And it's work on each person's side. I think thinking through some of the stuff in that 3 weeks will be very valuable for ladies to just process and imagine that it's okay. These are normal feelings. The kids are okay. It's right. It's what they're supposed to do. It's who they're supposed to be. And it's our job to let them go. And now we change our role into an influencer instead of a mom. We work on that relationship and working on those emotions ourselves, that it's okay to have these feelings. And every now and then it's okay to break down and feel sad and miss the kids.
Yeah. What a key point. You just said, from mom to influencer. I love that. That is like, what a picture. Yeah. You're going from a motherly role. Again, for us, our 3 kids are out of the house now. We're empty nesters. And that sense of not having everyone under one roof and knowing where everybody is, and I can just go down the hallway and there they are, to, right. I don't know if my kids had lunch today. I have no idea. They're on their own. They're doing their thing, right? And it's this odd feeling of, where do I go now? What's my role? Who am I? And then I'm thinking too of maybe single moms in that where they don't have a partner in the house with them and they're empty nesters. That's a completely different atmosphere, because you don't have that person next to you to talk to. And
we get stuck in our heads, and it's not a good thing.
No. Right. Right. So to be able to get together with a bunch of amazing women and do life together and have those conversations sounds like an amazing environment for someone.
Yeah, I am so excited to work with ladies and just help them learn that it's okay to not be in charge. We can't control everything anyway, and our kids are responsible for their own decisions now. Mm-hmm. If they didn't eat lunch, that's on them. I don't have to deal with their attitude anymore.
Yes, I completely agree with that. Yes. So do you have plans in the future to continue writing?
Definitely. I am working on a book called, I titled it Stepping Into Your Power. Ooh. So it is a normal self-help book, chapter by chapter, that'll be a companion to the planner. So taking each of those topics, expanding on them, sharing stories and examples to make it more sense, but as a companion, so you can work through the workbook as you're reading the book.
Nice. Do you have a timeline for this at all?
I don't. I just actually made myself try and put together a cover this morning to try and encourage me to get it going, because I have the title, I have the description, and I just gotta, and like the outline, but I gotta just sit and actually get it done. I would love to have it done by, let's say, mid-year, into June.
Okay. So we'll add some more inspiration, come back to the podcast, and let's talk about it when it's done too, and we'll promote it again. That would be awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
So add us to the list. So let's see the planner again. I love when authors hold up their books. Mm-hmm. So there you go. The Dream Life Planner. It's amazing.
It is tiny.
Yeah. But it's
only
packed
52 pages. It's
packed full of goodness.
Very packed.
Right? Awesome.
I tried not, so my purpose was that it's intentional. It's laid out in a format that makes sense to me, because I'm very much a systems person. And it had enough instruction to make sense, and I didn't have to go and read other things to understand what they're talking about.
Yeah. It's right there for you. We'll have all this great information in the show notes. Thank you so much, Noelle, for being part of the podcast. This is really, really fun to have you here. Amazing. So please, everyone, go support. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I'm really interested in this group for women, and Noelle sounds like a really amazing person, which she is, make sure you check out all the show notes and sign up. we're going to get this episode out right away so people can hear this and respond. So thank you, Noelle,
awesome.
for being part of it.
And we'll start the course again after that.
Beautiful. So there's lots of opportunity for everyone. It's great.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, thank you for being here on Living the Next Chapter. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We enjoyed having you here on the podcast. Our authors are amazing. I hope you appreciate their time, their effort to make this possible. If you know an author, if you want to recommend an author, that's a good idea. Hey, if there's an author that you really would love to hear about or hear from, if you tell me, if you send me a message, you speak pipe on our website, livingthenextchapter.com, send me an email, go over to livingthenextchapter.com, send us a message. We will forward your message to that author and say, listen, you are being requested to be on Living the Next Chapter. Our audience can't wait to hear from you. You can help shape the show. Yeah, you. You could do that right now, actually. You got a minute, right? Okay, how about you do that? livingthenextchapter.com. I'll see you over there. Recommend an author. Yeah. See ya. Thanks.